सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् हरि ओम्. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Yes, can someone recollect anything that we saw last? We form the link and we move ahead. Yes, anybody? We had stopped at sloka number 3, I think, of the 17th Adhyay.
Yeah, may I please?
Yes, please. Yes, Binaji. Most welcome.
Yeah, chapter 16, shloka number 19, Krishna says that he constantly hurls those people, those persons who carry the asuric nature and fail to seek him into the wombs of those with similar demonic natures in the cycle of rebirth in this material world. And there are three gates leading to the hell of self destruction, that is the lust, anger, and greed. And those who are free from the three gates to darkness strive to achieve the supreme consciousness and become one with God. And those who constantly strive for worldly pleasures and wealth with the aid of desires, and those who do not follow what the scriptures say, attain no perfection, peace, or the supreme goal of life. The scripture should be the guide or something you look upon to understand what is right and what is wrong. So we have to understand the scriptures and then perform the actions accordingly. Now we go on to chapter 17, where Arjuna asks about the status of those who disregard what the scriptures say and but still worship with devotion and faith, and whether their faith is sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic. So Krishna says that the faith of all living beings depends on the nature of their mind. So the mind has three modes of nature, which is goodness, passion, or ignorance.
Yeah. Yes, Binaji. So again, that shloka, Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te, means the Shastra should use the Shastra as a reference. Live the Shastra, live the principles, follow those principles. And many times when you connect with the divine consciousness, you will get the direction. Shastras will only confirm, their job is for confirming what your inner soul or inner Jivatman already knows. They are a reference. Sometimes they are used for confirmation also of the same truth that you have understood from within. That is not something it is by mental logic, it is something higher. So if we connect here, we go directly, we will be able to receive the same guidance. So Krishna talked about Shastra. Arjuna had a question. What about those? There are some who don't like reading the Shastra, who don't like following the Shastra at all. But they still have Shraddha. What type of Shraddha it is? And Krishna says it is Sattva, Raja, Tamas, and comes the very important shloka, Shraddha Mayo Parusho Yo. The person's Shraddha is going to define how the individual is going to live. We very much underestimate the importance of philosophy in life, isn't it? Is philosophy important? Like, what are we going to do with philosophy? People will say, am I going to write some big article philosophizing things about life and everything? But it's actually our life is governed by the philosophy we live, isn't it? I believe in some ideal, I'm going to live. But what about somebody who does not believe in any ideal? Do they also live by a philosophy? Some people say, my philosophy is not to read any philosophy. That is also a philosophy, isn't it? But that philosophy has certain side effects, isn't it? So I'm at a mercy of nature, mercy of circumstance, mercy of n number of factors of Prakriti. Instead, if you are able to understand, so it's important to first identify, connect with your inner core being. That is your Shraddha. When you are connected with your Shraddha sthana, you become powerful. Young children also. Jai Bajrang Bali, they say and immediately feel the Shakti or no. Sancharan of the full, the Aradhya, the great Rudra is suddenly inside of them. Fear disappears. How is that? From where is it coming? Well, that is a Shraddha in the individual. They connected with something very powerful, the force of the great Rudra, and started feeling like that. Same way inside of us also. And the second aspect, which we see very beautifully, Krishna says is, don't try, as he said before, na buddhi bhedam. Don't try to go and change somebody's philosophy. That is why it is said, no, follow the Shastra. This is the Shastra Krishna is saying. Somebody says, I don't like following the Shastra. Okay, what will happen? Go. Go and try changing the philosophy of somebody who does not want to listen to you. What will happen then? Nothing. Energy gets wasted. So many times you feel your friend should receive something nice, some direction you want to give, or you feel your friend is doing wrong. But the friend has never established you as a position of authority on any matter. So no matter, you may be giving Brahma Gyan. This person will say, hey, I get this in the Sunday market. Don't give me all of this. I don't need it. I have no need for it. So somebody who does not want, there's no point going after and trying to preach or try to teach and change somebody. So, and it's a risky aspect also. Imagine suddenly you break somebody's Shraddha Sthana by trying to give some advice. You'll have to adopt that person only because now that person is now without Shraddha Sthana. That person will be out of, it's like you've pulled out the fulcrum of that person, pulled out the entire base. So that person is now without any Shraddha. Means now, see, there are certain aspects in spirituality. It talks about transcending rituals. Okay. It's about transcending that is the important principle. Transcending is important. Rituals are useless is nowhere said, no. It's about transcending, not getting bound. But somebody who read, we can say, half knowledge, began to interpret it as rituals are useless. So somebody on a spiritual path, I think even actually he was connected with Pondicherry's Sri Aurobindo Ashram. He read something in spirituality and then started telling, "Arey, this is all wrong. You people are offering flowers to God. This is absolutely wrong thing to do. You are doing this, you are doing that. All these rituals are bad." And then a message had to be sent. The mother had only sent a message. This person is now, he has no right to break anybody's Shraddha without offering another place to hold on to. Because somebody needs something, some that Shraddha Sthan. We cannot predict or we cannot go on, we cannot predict how a person will react the moment that person's Shraddha Sthan is touched. Because it's a very, very private matter. That is why Krishna says it's okay. Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. Whichever way you want according to your Shraddha, what you offer, I don't refuse. Sometimes by having Shraddha, you are having little desires. You are binding divine with those desires sometimes. Give me this, give me that. He says it's all right. I give them those desires, I let them get fulfilled also. Why? Because that Shraddha will now take that person ahead. Bhagwan, please help me. I want to go on a date. God will help. God may help. Why? Not that he feels this date is important for that person. Feels this person's Shraddha should grow. Shraddha should grow. Then that person will go there, fall flat on the face, nothing will come out of it. But the connect with the divine will become very firm. Then he's listening to my little prayers. What more am I wanting? I don't want anything more. I will now serve you completely. Thank you. Thank you for listening. So anybody's Shraddha, whatever way it is all right. We don't have to enter into somebody's place. Shraddha Sthan is a sacred place. We don't like anybody coming inside with their shoes in our home, no? So will you walk into somebody's heart with your shoes and stomp it? No, not at all. Let us remember that. That is an important principle here. So there are different ways. Let us see Krishna is talking about it. He says, Yajante satvika devan yaksharakshansi rajasaha pretan bhutaganan chanye yajante tamasa janaha. The men of sattva offer their oblations to the gods. The sattvic nature ones will offer to those devas whom they feel connect with them very much. So they will offer all to those devas. That is the sattvic nature's Shraddha. Those of Rajas to the brute beings and wealthy demigods. Rajasic forces will want to offer to those forces which they relate more to. I want that brute strength. I want that brute, what we can say, material wealth. I want this. I want that. Most of the connections are like that. Many people say, no, don't worship Ma Saraswati. Instead, worship Ma Lakshmi. She will give you wealth. Your bank balance will increase. Or what are you worshipping Shiva for? You will also start going to Shmashan afterwards. Instead, instead of that, worship Kubera because he is going to again help you and give you wealth. But how did Kubera get wealthy? Again, by the blessing of Shiva, isn't it? But that understanding a person with Rajasic nature has not got. I remember one very famous Pandit, was the head of a Gurukul. He had come to visit a place. You see, Kadamba tree is a beautiful tree, isn't it? To see it, it gives a good, like it's Krishna's tree, everything nice, thoughts come in. The first thing that person commented after looking at a beautiful Kadam trees, now this is the place, go and do this particular chant, your wealth will increase. Again, that is that person's Shraddha. We did not go and say, Ki, what nonsense are you talking about? I don't want, or I want it only. Again, that's a problem, no? That's a negation, no? Somebody's Shraddha, you call it nonsense. That is sense for that person, that is driving that person who knows that Shraddha is being fulfilled by the divine and that person has experienced it. That becomes a lived experience of a person. It may not work for me, but for him it's working. So our job, most of the time people spend in finding faults. We have seen in the last Adhyay, that is the Asuri Swabhava. Not finding fault is divine nature. So let us come out of that. So here these Rajasic are worshipping those wealthy demigods. The beings of tamas, to the restless spirits offer their prayers, and to the deceased beings roaming in the subtle layers. So there is one more set of seekers who try to connect more with you know, the spirits, with the forces, Bhuta, Pishacha, Preta, all those Atmas, they connect it. It is like, it's almost like they get a rasa in doing that. They enjoy that. They feel like that is the right thing. Damleji's Guru Bandhu was there. Both of them had gone somewhere and he was staying. And that time they had gone to sleep. Damleji is an executive in the, what you can say, he would travel across the, different cities as a medical representative at that time. And later on he became an executive. So but during that time, as they were going to sleep, thak, 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 noise came suddenly from somewhere. He was sleeping, he was always disturbing in the night. Once it came, second time it came. Third time it came, Damleji got annoyed. He went and he shouted his choicest words to that key. Enough of this. I want to sleep. Who are you troubling continuously? After that, it became all silent. But when he came back, his friend was snickering continuously. He was just laughing so much. And he said, why are you laughing? It's so late in the night. He said, no, that was some Atma who had come to get moksha or mukti and you chased it away. He said, that's not my job. Your job is there, you do that. That is your sadhana, it's not mine. I want to go to sleep, I have to go to work the next day. This is not an area where I'm going to look at. Meaning that is that person, he has understood. This is not his way of functioning or he's not looking in that direction. But somebody else might be worshipping that way. That is that person's Shraddha. So there is Rajasic, there is Sattvic, and there is Tamasic. Krishna goes on. Ashastra vihitam ghoram tapyante ye tapojanaha dambhahankara sanyuktaha kamaraga balanvitaha. Against the teachings of the scriptures celestial, they perform the austerities, violent and bestial, powered by their egos and propelled by arrogance. With restless desires, they pride themselves in ignorance. Not only ignorance is there, there's also ahankar, dambha, arrogance is there, ahankar is there. It is a very bad, you can say, combination. Ignorance and arrogance together. Even the most powerful ones, when they get arrogant, they are also sometimes lost and then ignorance enters. Look at what happened to Ravana. A great Pandit, isn't it? Ravana was a great one. But in arrogance, he fell. This fall was the worst fall ever. The one who was supposed to have, who was the Lankaripati, who was the one who was controlling the Grahas. He had gone such strength, such great strength. All of it lost. In what? Tamas, tamasic buddhi, and also arrogance. So what happened then? Krishna says, against the teachings of the scripture celestial, they go against the Shastra. So many times Ravana was told, don't do this, don't do this, this is not right. He got hints from so many places. His own brother also, he said to him, Krishna said that, do not do this, this will bring your downfall. This is not, the Shastras say never ever do such a thing. What act you are doing is unforgivable. Forget this. He says, no, this is my revenge. I will take this. I don't care about Shastra. I have transcended, I have become too powerful to be bound by Shastra. When Grahas also are not having any effect on me, who is going to have an effect? Who's the Ahankar? So what do? They perform such ghor tapas. A lot of different yajnas were performed, isn't it, for by Ravana afterwards, to become more and more powerful, to become more and more strong, assuming with arrogance he can become invincible. Arrogance is the weakness. Arrogance is the kryptonite of the Superman. Moment you get arrogance, you are going to lose all the powers that you have. But that they don't understand because they are powered only by their ankar, and their restless desire keeps them going without shanti. Krishna goes on. Karshayantah sharirastham bhutagramam achetasaha mam chaivantaha sharirastham tan vidya sura nishchayan. They torment and torture their physical components, subjecting their bodies to the extreme elements. The crude minds also discomfort the me seated within, understand such beings to be demonic creatures of sin. So yesterday I think Aditi ji asked in the end, what is the connection between the gunas and the Devi Swabhava, Asuri Swabhava? So you see, when these two lower gunas come in, Dambha, Ahankar, Tamas, all of this with it's all combination, it is only Asuric. So what are they doing here? They are torturing, tormenting even their physical components. Such austerities, which are sometimes, you see, many yogis say the Sharira is like a gift given by the divine. So, what do you do when you borrow your friend's car or friend's bike? You say, now I don't need to worry. As many bumps I can, as many dents I can get on it, it is okay. Or you become more careful, isn't it? You become more alert. Okay, I don't want a single scratch. It is something like that. When you understand that the Sharira is given by the divine, you become conscious of your duty towards it. Anup Jalota had done a beautiful bhajan, Jhini Re Jhini. He says, Chadariya, this I got this cloth. This chadar has been given. It has been very beautifully woven, and I have been given it, so I will handle it and then I'll give it back as it is. I will give it back as it is to the maker or the one who gave it. So he will not have a single complaint. Well, that is the what we can say Swabhava of the sadhak. But here they try to use their whole ahankar, everything, even divine, whatever understanding they are using that to torture their physical components. They are subjecting their body to some sort of tortures. There are certain cults, isn't it? They start hitting themselves. They start hitting themselves, and that is their only connection with the divine. I'm not naming any cult as such because we don't want to talk about it. But some places there are distortions in certain cults, in different religions also. I'm talking about outside of India also. And they try to connect with that suffering of the physical body. It's not necessary. It's not necessary to go and torture your physical body. It's divine, so you have to take more care of it instead of destroying it the other way. Understand these to be Asuric Swabhavas is what Krishna is saying. Asuric natures are dominant in such beings. See the Ahara also. Aharastvapi sarvasya trividho bhavati priyaha yajnas tapas tatha danam tesham bhedam imam shrinu. Even the foods that are consumed by every creature, depending on liking, are threefold in nature. So too is sacrifice, austerity, and charity. Listen to me, for I shall explain with clarity. Krishna says, Ahar also is governed by the gunas. Along with Ahar, sacrifice, yajna also, austerity also, tapa also, and charity as well. Dana also is governed by the three gunas. This is very interesting. Dana is generally done out of with goodwill, isn't it? Well, here it is showing that sometimes dana is not done with goodwill also. Maybe tax exemption is the driving factor so that dana is being done. But in that doing of the action also, it's fine. You want that tax exemption, it's all right. It's all right. But how are you doing? Where are you doing? There are problems. Like you see, Kathopanishad begins with the improper dana. Nachiketas goes to his dad. Problem is he can't think like today's generation. Same thing was there so many thousands of years before. Children could not easily talk to parents. There was always a barrier. So he tries to go and say very politely, whom are you going to donate me to? Whom are you going? He does it once. He does it twice. Father gets annoyed. Oldest reference of father getting annoyed and saying, I'm going to give you to Yama. Modern day, they use the words like go to hell and other things. Here he has told go to Yama. And that begins the Kathopanishad. Because the dana was wrong. The dana was of cows which had already become old. They are not going to give any milk. They are too old now. You're not, you want to take care, and that is a different aspect. That is brilliant to do that. But to give it to somebody under the name of Dana, well, that was wrong. So Dana also has its natures. So Krishna is saying, listen, three ways are there. So the three gunas, if we thought they are over in that particular Adhyay, no, they are going to come back again and again until the 18th Adhyay as well. Let us see. It begins with the three types of food. Ahara. Ayuh sattva balarogyam sukha priti vivardhanaha rasyaha snigdaha sthira hridya aharaha satvika priyaha. The men of sattva prefer the following food. To them, all that nourishes and prolongs their life is good. A succulent, smooth, and firm diet they choose to adhere, for to their minds and bodies, this type of food is most dear. So the sattvic natured person prefers sattvic food. It is like as simple as that. The mind is like that, the nature is like that, the food is automatically chosen. Such a person, what does he like? All that is nourishing, all that is prolonging the life. We have seen sattva is connected with the nature that prolongs life also. Have we heard of very peaceful people having hypertension? No, very less likely. Rarest of rare phenomena. When you have hypertension, doctors say become peaceful, become sattvic, start meditating, XYZ. So many advices are given. So the sattvic natured person's food also choices like that. Succulent, smooth, firm diet they choose to adhere. For to their minds and bodies, this type of food is very dear. They understand the effect. Food has its effect or no on all of us. Say our Gita work is in the afternoon at 4 o'clock. Everybody has been given this diet of what we call tair sadam or curd rice. What's going to happen? Six shlokas later, everybody is going to fall asleep because that is the effect. That is the soporific effect of the food. When that food affects our state of consciousness. That's why sports people are advised diets. No, these kind of food you eat right now, this food only must be taken. When I was in college, I was foolish. I did not listen to the diet given by my coach. I thought he is not watching now. He was very strict all the time. So let it be. So me and my friend, we already knew who the opponent was because we had some experience of playing against them. So we felt it was not such a difficult round. This round we are going to clear. So he said, there's a very nice shop where they give very good biryani. Let us go there. Coach would not have allowed it, but he was not around. So let us enjoy. He and I went. We thought, chalo, theek hai. And just when the match was about to start, before the match where you warm up, you do the dribbling and all of that, both of us came to the court on the each on the both were on the other side. We came towards the net and he started saying, that is speaking from my stomach. I was also, yes, I'm sweating a lot. I'm feeling already tired right in the warm up. Because the food was, my energies are getting diverted into digesting that food. No more are we feeling fresh. Fortunately, we won, but it was a very close match. We could have almost lost it, but it happened. It was so simple, and that was one sakshatkar. He right, this food is not really ideal. This is eating up my consciousness. Sattvic people prefer sattvic food. Elderly people, you ask them what food they say. They'll say sattvic food. Why? Because they are yogis? Or their sharira does not allow it only, isn't it? Their sharira is not allowing, so it changes. Like one young boy in children's batch, he was like, I like only Rajasic food after being introduced to Rajasic food. Next day, with a very long face, he said, I like Sattvic food. Looking at his sad face, the teacher asked, what happened? He said, I'm having all mumu ke chale now. Doctor has told me to eat only simple food. I like Sattvic food, is what his sakshatkar is. Because Sharira is affected by the food that we eat and by nature. Krishna has not used the word vegetarian, non-vegetarian at the moment anywhere in the Sattva, Raja, Tama. Directly, he has not mentioned. He's talked about food. He's talked about food which is not going to be heavy on your consciousness. Because most of the time, 15 adhyay, 16 adhyay, there are no questions. This Adhyay, when this question comes up, everybody, vegetarian food or non-vegetarian food, what's going to happen? One person had even asked, what about Sri Rama? Did he eat vegetarian or did he eat non-vegetarian food in the jungle? And another person who's having Shradha is disturbed by the very thought, how can you think? Krishna has not mentioned, he said, understand which food is good for you, which food is going to be heavy on your consciousness. So that if we are a little bit aware, we will know what type of food is good. He has not fallen into the trap. Let us also not fall into that trap. Because one participant, she said, I am vegetarian, but my daughter is non-vegetarian. Saying that only, she was feeling like her daughter is the biggest sinner in the world. And she was on the verge of tears because she felt she's going away from her daughter because she said, I would look at it with disgust, the food, what she's eating. She said, I cannot tolerate it. I feel like vomiting. And they are eating it. She is now teamed up with her father, and both of them are now going away from me, is what her feeling was. Just one question I had asked her: will your choice of food take precedence over your relationship with your daughter? She said, no. Should I start eating non-veg? I said, no, don't. Nobody is asking you to change your nature. You want something, you want her to change, all right, that is fine. But you first understand your relation is more important. That person is considering it as a food. So don't mock or ridicule that person's Shraddha in that food. Maybe aspire, maybe say extra mantras in your puja room that your daughter changes. But don't you go and try to mock that person's feeling, because that mocking has only created that wedge. And truly, things really sorted very well afterwards with her. And after a year, she contacted and told me that the development is her daughter has changed her choice of diet. Now, whether it's good, bad, let us leave it to their family to decide. But here, Krishna has told sattvic food, the food that's not heavy, the food that's going to prolong your life, the food that is nourishing, the food that is your mind also understands it's good for it, your body also feels it's good for it. That is the sattvic type of food. The yogis, what do they take? Kanda and phala, no? Most, that's all. Roots and fruits. And yet they are strong. We have yogis like Parshurama also. They were so muscular and powerful as well. So that is the sattvic type of food. Next comes the rajasic type of food. What is that? Katvamla lavana tushna tikshna ruksha vidahinaha ahara rajasa siesta dukha shoka mayapradaha. Krishna says the men of Rajas very much enjoy consuming all that is bitter, sour, salty, hot, dry, and dehydrating. Born of anxiety and worry, they are affected by ailments. and their health is affected by their temperaments. So these, in short, all the fried foods, all what we call tasty foods or junk foods, they are all coming under Rajasic. They could be bitter, they could be sour, they could be dry and dehydrating. Most of the time, Rajasic food, after eating it, you feel thirsty, isn't it? Because it requires a lot of energy just to digest. And a Rajasic person will choose Rajasic food. If given a choice, Rajasic person will say Rajasic food only is best for me. What happens because of that food? Born of anxiety and worry, they are affected by ailments. And their health is affected by their temperaments. As simple as that. Hypertension and salt consumption. Link has been found or not? Yes. Yes, there's a very strong link. So they say, come on, throw that white poison out of your house. Two white poisons, sugar and salt. Instead, you can move into what we call, you use rock salt, use jaggery, use some other alternative. But this aspect of Rajasic food, it is causing anxiety inside of a person, and that anxiety is then leading to n number of worries and also affecting their health. People who get very, very anxious, what happens to them? They are more prone and more vulnerable. Somebody who gets very easily anxious is also very easy to fall sick also. That is why sadhana must be done. Sadhana must be done to throw away anxiety. What anxiety can you have when the divine is with you? No fear, no anxiety. No, I'm used to controlling the situation. So uncontrolled situation also, how many situations can we control in life? Actually, nothing is in our control. We know little bit. Using that little bit, we try to control a small circle of wherever our influence is. But then factors come not from the new, from the nature. From nature it comes and then changes everything. Instead, the best option is like Gita says, Mam Phaleshu Kadachinam, get detached, use whatever knowledge you have, use whatever wisdom you have, but use it with quietude. Then you will be free from anxiety. But Rajasic food is connected with anxiety and other related ailments. That is the big fall of Rajasic food. Big flaw there.
Yeah, but sweets are not considered Rajasic, no?
Sweets are not considered Rajasic.
It does not have sugar.
It does not have
Like sugar is not included. Bitter,
sugar is not.
fried,
Yeah.
salt.
So Aditi is sweet sattvic because it is easy to digest. Is it?
No, I was just in moderation it will be fine.
Yeah, probably in moderation. Yes, yes, yes. That way, somebody says he eats pakoras and he's not going to immediately have anxiety, isn't it? Rajasic food also eaten in moderation is not going to create trouble. Whichever food you're eating in moderation is not going to create trouble. But it is up to the individual. We're not trying to have a we can consult our dietitian if we want to actually look at certain plans. But this aspect, yes. Sweet also, if you see modern day sweets and sweets which were earlier, they were different, no? Modern day sweets are a lot different compared to what was before. So even we say there's something called fruit sugar, which is much more easy, no? Fruit sugar immediately becomes sattvic. When you eat sweet fruits, very easy to digest. That is going to be good for your body, full of antioxidants, maybe fibers also. It's going to be nice. But processed, you eat some other types of sweets, no, it's going to become not so good for the health as well. Then the third type is there. Krishna says, Yatayamam gatarasam bhuta paryu shitam chayat uchishtam chamedhyam bhojanam tamasatpriyam. The men of tamas derive a pleasure perverted in consuming food that is cold, stale, and rotted. Foods that are foul, tasteless, and even decomposing sour, like animals, even leftovers they choose to devour. That is the tamasic nature. Tamasic food is preferred by those with tamasic nature. What is tamasic food? Tamasic food is that which is probably fermented, food that is stale, food that is even rotting. I remember a particular friend of mine during college, he would eat one, he said, food gets tastier, he would say, after 2 or 3 days. That was his particular concept. And he actually was so convincing that he convinced a friend of mine to eat and taste what he is eating. My friend got food poisoning eating the same food when this person was healthy. How is it possible when so many years is what we can say he has trained his body to adjust to that poison, but it is a poison only. Here, this person immediately got that experience. So this is the nature. Some of them they make the food and they say food becomes tastier the next day. Many people at home also we cook extra so that it is available for the next day. We can make a particular dish out of it. How many homes do we try that? Yes, it's not required. It's not required at all. Even the very concept of refrigeration is alien to our Sanatana Dharma and Bharatiya Parampara. Why? Refrigeration is good in those places where already temperature is very low. The food is usually experiencing not fluctuation in atmosphere temperature and inner temperature. Here, what is happening? We cook fresh food, then we keep it into the fridge. Again, different reactions take place. Then again, we take it out and again we eat. Again, we heat it. What is happening to the sattva or value of the food? It gets destroyed. That we don't understand. Some of the yogis and some of the people who follow certain austerities, they only cook and eat their own food. And they eat it at that time. Afterwards, they make only how much they require. If there is something from the morning, they will not eat in the evening. They say no. And they follow some shaucha. Somebody takes a little bit, and yes, fine, you have this food now. I don't want to take from this. I'm going to keep this. Uchishtam, I don't want food which is taken by somebody else. Why? What? So that is the austerity of that person. It is, but this tamasic food is, there's a tendency, a person enjoys doing that because of the tamasic nature. When Sanskrit teacher was a Shishya of Damleji, he shifted to Orissa, he got introduced to a particular food called pokhal. Anybody is aware of it? Uh, so that's like fermented rice. And previous day's rice is then there's a preparation how you make it, put water in it, and then they eat the next day. So this person who would get up at 5 a.m. in the morning, 6 a.m. and do Surya Namaskar after he got transferred, he said his day would begin late in the morning. Then after eating, he would say, anyway, what is the use going and doing any work right now in the morning? So the morning would start after 12 o'clock. The food that he was eating was bringing that change in the schedule. So this is something. Fermented food is coming under tamasic nature, tamasic quality. Krishna goes on further. He says, "Afalankshibhir yagnyo vidrushto ya ijyate yashtavyameveti manaha samadhaya sa satvika." So the sacrifice, the yagna that is performed, when the sacrifice is performed to the deities and the divine lords without seeking any personal gains or rewards, concentrating and being focused as per scripture and bereft of desire, it is said to be of sattva's nature. Sattvic natured yajna is the yajna which is done without any expectations of results. These are the most perfect yajnas. Like we say, best prayer to God is what? Thank you. Most tantric prayer ever possible. Dhanyosmi, Upakritosmi, Krutagnyosmi, whatever, whichever language you want to say that. But when you are able to, from the heart, express gratitude, you will become transformed. You will become transformed. So the sacrifice done without any expectation. Agneya swaha agneya idannamama prajapate swaha prajapate idannamama suryaya swaha suryaya idannamam. What is that idannamama? Not me. This belongs to the divine. I am offering to the divine, not for me. That is the bhava. That is the right yajna, not done with an expectation, without seeking any personal gains or rewards. Focused as per the scripture, bereft of desire, it is said to be of sattva nature. Because if you understand the meaning of yajna, you will understand why you are pouring these ahutis. What are those? What are you doing? You are simply saying mantra. Somebody told me, so I am going to put dry twigs. Or you do it consciously, those twigs will be all your attachments, all your vices. What is not required, they will start burning in front of you only. Agni will take control. Agni will start burning away all your faults. When you do that consciously, isn't it? Then comes Ghrutam. What is the Ghrutam? Ghrutam is clarified butter. Offering all that is good in you. You are offering again. That is the spirit of sacrifice. That is spirit of Yajna. Sri Aurobindo has beautifully described. The Agni has two meanings. One is the hidden esoteric meaning, another is the Agni Devata who is taking your prayers to the other Devatas. He is the inviter. We send no marriage invitations to all relatives. Something like that. Agni Devata is there, sending your invitations, pray invitation to the Devas to come, descend to our aid, come help. But it has to be done in a proper manner, not with a reward-seeking nature. And the inner meaning which Ravinda talked about is the flame of aspiration inside of human beings. Chaitya Purush, that Agni is lighting that person's fire and that person is going to rise in consciousness. I think this concept of fire is used everywhere, isn't it? We understand the meaning of fire to be more than physical fire. Give me freedom, give me fire. There was a very famous song. It was an anthem for a World Cup. But what fire are they going to do? Are they going to light the stadium with that fire? What do we mean by that fire? Well, that fire is the fire of aspiration, the fire of hope, the fire of prakasha, light dispelling ignorance. All of that is one. Somebody who is doing the yajna has understood the real meaning of yajna in a sattvic manner and is doing it right without asking anything in return. Next, the rajasic yajna. Abhisandhaya tu phalam dambhar. Phalam. Abhisandhaya tu phalam dambhartham api chaiva Ijjate Bharata Shrestha Tam Yajnam Vidhi Rajasam. Krishna says, but those sacrifices that are performed with desire. Oh Arjuna, when for material benefits, when one aspires, accompanied by flagrant exhibition and hype, no such sacrifices to be of the Rajasic type. Rajasic Yajna, it is done with desires only. I am doing this so I get this much. I am offering so much to God because I have to get more property within the next financial year. I want good returns. I want business success. That is why I am doing. And if it does not happen, I will change the God. I will go to one more God who is going to give me, who is going to be more profitable in this different business that I am engaging in. Well, that is the Rajasic nature. With material benefits. Every yajna is done with that only. Accompanied by a flagrant exhibition and hype. Sattvic person does yajna, neighbor also will not know why in the next room somebody is sitting also may not understand that yajna is complete quietly, perfectly as per Vidhi and Shastra. Rajasic yajna is being done, no? So not why neighbor, apartment system, next apartment system, that society far away also. Everybody knows there's a big poster with a photo of that person doing the yajna and a small poster of Agni. Because that is Rajasic. Rajas is just about showing off. Agni should be happy I am doing yajna for him today. That is the feeling in the Rajasic person's mind. It is just of no use actually, because it is in a negative manner, done in a wrong manner, not as per the Shastra. But at least Rajas is doing something, isn't it? Rajas does the yajna. Tamas is worst. What does tamasic person do? Vidhihinam asrushtannam mantrahinam adakshinam Shradha virahitam yajnam tamasam parichakshate. The sacrifice is performed against the scripture without following any proper procedure, devoid of faith, mantras, offerings of food or charity. Such a sacrifice is said to be tamas in quality. Means sacrifice performed against the scripture. The scripture says you have to sit this way in this particular asana. He'll say, I'll sleep. I will lie down. Scripture says offer with love. He'll say, I'll throw like I'm throwing a basketball into the hoop. Like that, I'm going to offer my ahutis. Scripture says, say some mantras. He says, no. For I will sing a song I like, but I will not chant mantras. Faith, no faith at all. It has some dana must be done accompanying a yajna. Food must be offered. Some dakshina must be done. No, I will do nothing of this sort. Such is the tamas. It's an insult. It's nothing. It is nothing. It's actually, God may not get insulted, but it is a mockery, isn't it, of the entire purpose. Better not doing it. Many times this happens out of tamas. One not so nice experience I had watching a particular yajna being done where ahutis were poured by a brother and sister for their deceased father. Unfortunately, it was an accident and all of that. It really was a big shock for everybody and everything. But both of them did not have too much of what we can say Shradha in the actions. So the faces they were making while offering, instead of trying to understand the mantras. Navagraha mantras are going on, different mantras are being done. With the bhava, you can do it, isn't it? But no, Shraddha is missing. Shraddha is missing, then the action you'll see some weird smiles, all of that. It's not required. Better not do it, no. You don't have Shraddha, it's okay. Fine. You don't follow it. But don't do it in a very tamasic manner. That is the basic thing. But that a tamasic person will never understand. They would rather live in that illusion than change. Then change. And that is the problem. That is why tamas is most dangerous. Avoid tamas as much as you can in yourself, and also if you can dissociate well and good from people with a lot of tamas. Krishna goes on, Daiva Dvija Guru Pragna Pujanam Shaucham Arjavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsa cha Shariram Tapa Uchyate. Now comes the other tapa. We saw about the anna and we saw about the yagna, ahara and the yagna. Ahara is of three types. Yagna is also three types. Now we are going to see tapa. Tapa also being three different types. So tapa, interestingly, sharirik tapa is we are being introduced, meaning sattvic tapa has three subtypes. Means sattvic tapa has three different aspects. First aspect of sattvic tapa is being introduced right now. It is called a sharira tapa. Worshipping the Godhead. Your aradhya, your ishta, you are offering your prayers. That is one. Or the spiritual master, guru. Guru seva is being done. That is why there are mantras. Guru Paramatma Pareshu or Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Charachara Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Because I am getting the full darshana of the Akhanda Mandala, the entire, which is composing the entire Charachara or the entire Brahmanda or entire universe. I am getting the darshana of the universe in the feet. That is the Shraddha of the individual. So they do the Guru Seva. Or the man of wisdom, or the immaculate, or the Brahma seekers, the liberated ones, the Jivan Muktas, the non-violent, the celibate, all as a way of bodily penance one can postulate. Worshipping means what? Taking a thali and moving it around only? No, offering service, offering seva. Krishna also went to Gurukul, no? Sandipani Ashram. Why did he have? Because that is an important aspect. It is a runa which must be completed. And Sharira Tapa is one of the ways it can be done. Sharira Tapa is said to be when physically your physical body is actively participating in the Tapa. Suddenly, big organizational CEOs go pick up a broomstick and start doing cleaning. Why? Why are they doing that cleaning? Guilty conscience. I'm doing a lot of wrong things. So let me clean. No, it's not like that. But even if they have that guilty conscience, the cleaning activity will remove that. The dirt inside is what they are cleaning. Sharira Tapa. I know of one person, very senior. But regularly he would take a broomstick and he would broom. He would for 1 hour every day. Why? He had people under him who could do that work, but he would say, "This is for Mataji, I'm doing this. For myself, I'm doing this. As an offering to Mataji, I want to give something, so I'm doing that." Well, that is Sharira Tapa. Physical body is also participating in that. Serving the liberated, the non-violent, the ahimsa, who are following the principle of ahimsa, or even these brahmacharis, the celibates, different monks are there. They go into that particular, they take that monkhood at a very young age. All life they are doing it. So what do people do? Let us give us a chance. Give a chance. Especially the Jain communities, they are very active in it. If you are aware, very nicely, the entire family takes part. The entire family tries to do service. Well, that is Sharira Tapa. Next, Anudvegakaram Vakyam Satyam Priyahitam Chayat Swadhyaya Dhyasanam Chaiva Vangmayam Tapa Uchate. So there is the Sharira Tapa, then there is the Vak Tapa, Tapa, penance of speech. Somebody says, I can do physical Sharira Tapa, penance of speech, please don't ask me to do it. It's too much. My tongue, I have freedom, my choice. Why should I why should I control my tongue? Anybody? Is there an answer to this question? Why should I control my mouth? Yes,
Because
Save a lot of problems.
it will create a lot of problems. Mehtaji has said.
Save a lot of problems
It will save
if
us
you
from a lot
control.
of problems. Yes, yes. Aditi was adding something.
yeah, I was saying that like birds cut deeper than swords. So
That is also true. Words sometimes, words, the hurt that you cause with words, that words actually will really create a disturbance. Sometimes you cannot. I remember there was a T-shirt with a design of a fish. The mouth of the fish is open and there's a fishing rod. Life is keeping your mouth closed when it is vital. So that fish had kept it closed, it would have probably lived longer. As simple as that. So let us see, what is this? Vak Tapa. Because the Vani is considered to be very powerful. When you do sadhana, your words change. The depth of your words change. Then the transformational power of your words also changes. Many times you say, nobody is listening to me. Why? Are you living? Are you living those words? Are you living your principle? Is the consciousness traveling in your words? Or your mind is already in dual state of doubt, and so you are speaking something that what you are speaking is not having any strength. Ramleji always says, Shabda tumhara ho sanjeevanam. Your words can become powerful like the Sanjeevan Aushadhi. It can revive a person. That is the powerful strength of the words. Let us see. There's something called Vacha Siddhi also. One of the Siddhis is, it is considered, it is yogis have that. What they say happens. Anybody has met anybody in your life? Such a person? This person speaks, it happens. Yes, anybody? Have you come across? It need not be like exactly magically this person has said an exact manifestation, right? Like how they say this, now Devi Mahatma says, Omkari, Srishti Rupai, Rimkari. So this mantra creates new Srishti. Not exactly like that. That is the Devi's consciousness. But I'm saying some people, no, they're elderly or they're wise or they've lived with very strong ideals and principles. You just go and talk to them and you just want to hear their words. What is he saying or what is she saying about it? And that word which comes out correctly, that thing only happens. Has anybody ever got such an experience? No? All right, there are people that way. You can say they're closer to what is Vacha Siddhi. That's why people go sometimes. Since many gurus and all people go for their Ashirvad, they just get the Ashirvad Shubhamastu. Shubhamastu only. But that Ashirvad has a transformatory power elsewhere for that person. Because that is the strength. And the Shraddha becomes a medium for the manifestation of that. So there is something called Vacha Siddhi. There is something called Vak Tapa, penance of speech. There are levels of language also. It is said speech also means Vani also. There are different You can say one is Vaikhari. Vaikhari is the language where we engage, we talk to each other. But many times we can talk things beyond words also, isn't it? Yes, Vidisha ji says Saraswati rides on Vacha. She is the goddess. There's a stotra of Saraswati which says Saraswati Nritya tu Vachi me sada. Oh, Goddess Saraswati, dance, dance on the tip of my tongue, always. That is the invitation. It is said to be composed by Agastya, but I don't think it is the sage Agastya of Vedic time. It may be another Agastya. But that is a beautiful composition. Yes. So this aspect, it is very important. Our words, our Vani, because we speak in one language, but then there are things which are beyond speech also, isn't it? Somebody says, "How are you?" "I'm fine." We understand, no, you're not fine. I can understand your voice is not conveying that. Something is missing. So like that, there is Vaikhari, there is Madhyama, there is something called Para, and there is the highest stage called Pashyanti. Pashyanti is seeing. You are able to see words, you are able to manifest them, or you are able to see that's the highest consciousness. But so let us first come to Vaikhari only. The words that we use for transaction. Let the other, when we go to higher stages, let us experience then. But let us focus first here. Krishna says, uttering words that cause others no disturbance. This is so difficult, isn't it? Morning, afternoon, evening, we keep either getting disturbed by somebody's words or we use words to disturb somebody else. Speaking the truth with kindness and tolerance. Truth must be spoken, yes, but there should be an element of kindness. There should be tolerance. I remember one of my experiences, a good friend of mine who was a psychologist, and she wanted to join the Gita Varga. With your friends, you normally play pranks with your friends, you tease your friends a bit. So she was, I want to pay the fees immediately. First you tell me the fee, then only I will join. So I said, there is one fee only. What is it? You have to say Hari Om. Because I knew this person doesn't like saying that. But we are going to always say that, so I thought as well let her get into that habit of Hari Om. Then I got a big message. And it was that time we had a system where everybody had to join on a particular date. Then we would have registration system, everything. So that day was over, but then I had to get permission and then I included that person, everything. I was like, come on, this much Hari Om, at least this friend should say. This should say was a attachment I had. No, Maitri, I tried to enforce something onto someone, which was that person didn't want. So that person immediately she exited the group and then sent me a message that I thought you were more liberal and you were like this and you were like that. So I got irritated. I said it's good you left because somebody else who wants to join will be able to because we had a number of people joining. There was a limitation that time. But it was a very wrong statement of mine to say. Good you left. I did not know that. And the next thing I know is that person has gone offline from communication only. And for 3 months, 4 months, I felt so bad, not understanding. I shouldn't have said. I tried to, reconcile with that friend different ways. Mail, phones were not being reached. Later, and I found out something else was going on in her life, and my words actually became a trigger for her. She had a panic attack. I didn't expect her to ever have that. I didn't say anything wrong from according to my perspective. But I was having a guilt for several months, and every time this Adhyay would come, I would think, I did not follow Vachasya, what this Vaktapa was there. And that was once when finally I realized this was my problem. Till I didn't understand, it was a confusion. The problem was I added an element of harshness, which was not required. Truth is harsh or not? For somebody who does not believe in the truth or doesn't like the truth, it's naturally harsh. You don't have to add that element of harshness. But that becomes the problem when you add it. You feel ki now is the time. Now I have this Brahmastra only. I'm going to send it. It's not required. We don't have to do that because speak the truth with kindness. Speak the truth with tolerance. A sister was told by the doctor, you have 3 or 4 months to live. Now that is a very wrong thing to say. As if you have guarantee, you should not say that unless you know it, unless the doctor fully knows it. But this girl also took it very sincerely. Ki, Chalo, let me try, let me try. She tried to see for hope, medication, what is the possibility, all of that. And that time, seeing her aspiration, a junior doctor came to her and told, if you are able to find out, if we diagnose and we get this particular result, there is still a chance that you might actually be able to have a longer life. So enthused, she went to the doctor, the senior doctor, saying, this doctor has told me maybe there is a chance. What did the doctor say? So now you are going to believe a junior doctor. Not required. 1 year later, she got a certificate from that hospital that she's cancer free. And she went ahead for her higher studies. So hasn't that doctor's statement fallen flat? Was there a need to be so harsh just because that personal interaction with the other person? So this is the aspect. Delivery of truth. We say service with smile, something like that. Truth also, let us deliver it with kindness. Who doesn't want to hear it? They will already have their whatever reaction has to happen. You don't have to add the angle of harshness. Studying the principles which the ancient scriptures preach, all these together constitute the penance of speech. So understanding the Shastra, Satyam Bruyat, Na Bruyat, Satyam Apriyam, Priyam Chanamritam Bruyat, Esha Dharma Sanatana. This is the Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma is about speaking the truth with kindness, speaking the truth with tolerance. That is what is penance of speech, which must be followed, is what Krishna is saying. He's not said actually to Arjuna yet that you must follow it, but he's saying this is the penance of speech. Choice is always up to the individual. Then comes the third. Manaha prasadaha saumyatvam maunam atma vinigraha bhava sanshuddhirityetat tapo manasam uchyate. With a blissful mind, maintaining a balance, controlling the mind with a resolute silence, thus engaging in the inner cleansing when a being you find, he is said to be performing the penance of the mind, the manas tapa. Penance of the mind also is there. Now this becomes interesting. Mental thoughts also create ripples. Mental thoughts also create impulses. We don't realize it. Mental thoughts also are creations of creating sanskaras in our personality. We don't realize it. Say somebody who keeps trying to berate oneself. What is going to happen to such a person? Anybody? I'm not good. I was good. Now I'm not. Nothing. I'm nothing. I'm not capable. I've not done anything good. What's going to happen? Such a person will end up losing the confidence. Yes, Vinitaji, what is it you were saying?
Yeah,
Yes,
he will start believing it, whatever he's.
yes. Many times teachers say you are useless student, useless, you are not capable of anything. What happens then? The student feels that. A friend of mine, wonderful, he's now a wonderful director. But he tried to end his life in school. He almost lost such a brilliant, creative soul with a wonderful spiritual awakening inside of him also. Why? Because those were the wrong sanskaras. And the mind was then vulnerable, isn't it? So there's something called penance of mind. With a blissful mind, maintaining a balance. Learning to make your mind blissful. That is important. A great pravachanकार in Maharashtra, I would say, Mana Karare Prasanna. He begins his pravachan with this. Make your mind happy. Start with making your mind happy. What's going to happen then? Well, that is what you are going to do. Why are you going to a pravachan in the first place? To make your mind shanta and peaceful. If you are able to experience it in the start, you have already achieved it. So, maintaining with a blissful mind, maintaining a balance. Balance is when? In good moments also, and in bad moments as well. Both those times. Controlling the mind with a resolute silence, thus engaging in the inner cleansing. When a being you find, he is said to be performing the penance of the mind. Mental thoughts also are a force. What should we do with our mental force? Use it, use it, use it to rise to a particular state of consciousness so that we can access a new world, a beautiful world that is beyond the mind. That world is waiting, no, for us to experience. When are we going to go there? Only when our lower skirmishes of Indriyas get over. If you are busy, what should I eat? Which chutney should I have with pakoda? If that is your thought, when are you going to have the higher consciousness or higher thoughts of creativity, higher thoughts of manifestation of some divine will? When will it enter? Only when you try. No? You have to raise your level. So this is manas tapa, is what Krishna is saying. So there is a sharira tapa, there is a vak tapa, and there is a manas tapa. But we wanted to know what is sattvic tapa. Krishna suddenly is he taking us in a different route? No, he is explaining next shloka. He says, Shradhaya paraya taptam tapastrividham naraihi afala kankshibhe yuktaihi sattvikam parichakshate. So when these three are done together integrally, then only you can call it a sattvic tapa. So sattvic tapa doesn't look easy, but just because it's not easy does not mean we should not do it. I think what is challenging only must be done, isn't it? That will bring out our potential. That will raise us. So here, when the three penances are done together, it is a penance in sattva way all together. Performed with a faith that is highest, holding no fruitive aspirations, not even the slightest. So important it is. Not a slightest also. Choti si asha, no. Nothing, absolutely. Dil is not chota, dil is bada. We are having a big heart and having zero desires inside it because our Raja is sitting inside. Krishna is Virajman there in the Hridaya. So we are not worrying about desires. He is going to give, he'll give more than what is necessary. We just have to become quiet. So Sharira Tapa, Manas Tapa, and Vak Tapa. This is very important because what's in your mind, the same is coming into the tongue, the same is coming into the behavior also. Otherwise, people read high Vedantic truths, and what do they do after that? Their behavior is opposite. Arey, what is this? Here, Brahma Vidya was coming from Sakshat Maharshi. And that Maharshi has suddenly become the biggest asura I have ever seen. How did this transformation take place? Because that link is not there. This is unsustainable also, actually. This is dangerous as well. This will not allow a person to progress beyond a particular. It will become one-dimensional progress, and after a while, it will stop. So, if we want to have an integral growth and integral progress, we need to understand what we are speaking. We must understand what we are thinking. We must understand what we are doing. Then only it is the true sattvic tapa. That is what Krishna is talking about. I remember one person in a conference. He was speaking in brilliant Sanskrit. I had gone to a World Sanskrit Conference and it was in Bangalore. He was speaking in brilliant Sanskrit. Everybody was initially happy. After a while, that happiness disappeared because he was supposed to speak for 5 minutes. He was supposed to speak for 10 minutes back here. He went on speaking for 45 minutes. And because he spoke for 45 minutes, all the delegates, many were Ayurvedic doctors, they had to finish their presentations within 8 minutes and 10 minutes. Everybody was fuming. And then something very interesting happened. Probably his wife or somebody or child, somebody came. In his Sanskrit flow, suddenly he got angry. Don't come here, camera is on. He started shouting in his native language. Gone, flow is broken. Everybody is laughing. What has happened here to the great yogi, great Pandit? Well, Manas Tapa is not there. Vaka is going, Vacha is going in beautiful Sanskrit language, and mind is elsewhere. No. So it is lost. And in the what we can say, talk, gone. Where is he? He's forgetting in the action. In the action, he's not taking importance. He's only about he's trying to show his knowledge and command, not understanding the kala, not understanding the paristiti. I remember I was very fuming because I had traveled a long distance. I was very disappointed that they have suddenly told me now you are going to talk in 10 minutes. You try to finish what you want to say. I started like this. I will invoke the Kala Purusha to give me strength. to speak in 10 minutes what I have been doing in last 10 years. Everybody started laughing. And the organizers also were smiling tongue in cheek. But everybody was disappointed with this person. One person derailed an entire organization's planning. How is it possible? This is not sattvic at all, isn't it? Sattvic is when all three are together. Sharira tapa, vak tapa, mana tapa. Only when three are done together, you can call it a tapa. Otherwise, it is what we can sometimes even call it wrong. It is wrong. It is false. It is not perfect. It is imperfect. What about Rajasic? Krishna is saying Rajasic tapa satkara mana pujartham tapodam hena chaivat yat kriyate tadiha proktam rajasam chalam adruvam. I think the example that I gave can call, we can equate it to Rajasic tapa because you see, but that penance that is performed outwardly, executed in pride, seeking a glory worldly, meaning the person is doing that tapa with the entire aspect of I should get praise, people should give me such name, I should get this, I should get that. That is what this tapa is, executed in pride. It is Rajasic in nature, it's primitive and it's cursory. Means right now also the respect for that person who spoke, it is tremendous because what he has done sadhana, he is able to speak such wonderful things. But disconnect is there, isn't it? So it looked primitive. Everybody were able to understand what is this, why is this short, what is this, why this wise person who is supposed to be so wise cannot understand this much basic knowledge. What is this? That is what everybody was feeling. Yearning for adulation, it is unstable. It is unstable and temporary. Just imagine a yogi doing tapasya, vrukshasana, with one eye open, looking around, who is looking at me, how am I looking while doing this? What's going to happen? Well, that person is not going to continuously keep doing it, isn't it? Because is everybody jobless? That they're going to say, this yogi is doing this tapasya, let us all sit and look at it. It's not going to, it is going to just fall apart. That is the simplest of things. You have to do sadhana for yourself, not because you want somebody to think I am spiritual. Many people try to show what sadhana they do. It's somewhere Rajasic. I want to be called dharmic. I want to be called so spiritual. I want to be called XYZ. I am doing sadhana. A person sent me on WhatsApp message. I was snickering after receiving it. So is sending a WhatsApp message also part of that sadhana? If I was not responded, it would have made no difference. But no, the person wanted to show I am doing sadhana, so the message comes. Well, instead of that, it is temporary, is what Krishna is saying. It is Rajasic for getting some kind of returns. We stop at the last type of tapa, which is the tamasic tapa. Then we'll look at the three types of dana. So then we'll probably be ready to enter after the three types of dana are told into what is the last Adhyay of the Gita. The last Adhyay is the Gita of Mukti, is the Adhyay of Mukti or liberation. What is so special? We'll have to see. It might be a summary of all 18 chapters also. Krishna's way of functioning is always very special. The 18th Adhyay is a very special one. Muda grahenat mano yat pidaya kriyate tapaha parasyot sadhanartham vahatattamasam udaharatam. The penance that is sought by a person deluded, whose intellect has by ignorance been clouded, causing or concentrating with an intention to injure, either to self or others, is a penance in tamas for sure. So tamas is not for getting adulation or something, it's actually causing trouble, causing disturbance to somebody. Person is in complete delusion. The person has no understanding of what is right and what is to be done. Intellect has been, it is like buddhi has gone for permanent vacation on him. This person is just, intellect is clouded by ignorance, causing or concentrating with the intention to injure. Since people go, Rajasic person will go and say, Bhagwan, please give me promotion, I'll give you this in return. continuous prarthana will be going on. Tamasic person will go and say, Bhagwan, don't give that person promotion. It is the intention to cause hurt. A tamasic person does a tapasya because I want this person to suffer. So many people they call upon tantrics. They say, I want this particular person to suffer, make this person's business fail through this yajna. Whether it's successful or not depends on the strength of the mind of the person. If the person is going to be vulnerable, if the person is always filled with doubts, even if the person sitting 500 kilometers away just coughs or blows air, that will trouble a person here because this person is already the enemy of self. Instead, if the person is so strong, if the mana is druda, even when person does a tantric prayog, you know what happens? It backfires. It backfires equally with such a reaction. Like they say, no, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. It sometimes has a more than equal and opposite reaction. It sometimes has a grave reaction. I remember a person telling Namliji inside of the ashram, he said, now what will happen? Watch in 15 minutes after you go out. Because he wanted to try to show he is having some strength, and Namliji quickly understood it was Ankar. He's able to understand very, very quickly. So he did not. He just smiled at him. Ha ha, I'm theek hai. No, no, your foot should be there. He just said, I'm theek hai. He got irritated. And I was surprised that inside, how can such a person speak like this when everybody is coming? He said, now you will understand in the next 15 minutes. I don't know what happened. 15 minutes later, no difference happened. But again, when I went there, that person was having a fracture in his hand. Now, is it because of this or because of that? I don't know. We can't see all of it. But that is tamasic. You see, you are now inside of a sacred place. People are coming with a particular aspiration. What should your job be if you have been given the daitva of somebody who is guiding people? That your job is that, no? But a tamasic person is trying to use that as a strength. I am so great, so I have been kept here. Now I am going to start cursing, and my curses are going to have vacha siddhi. They will never have like that. But that is a tamasic svabhava. So this is the penance. Sometimes tamasic penance is done by people with the intention to cause harm, to hurt somebody else. That is the third type. So dana we will see tomorrow. Yes, we will see tomorrow the three types of dana. So with this, we are ready to conclude today's session. Can someone summarize something if you can? If you wish to share something, yes, please. Can summarize what we saw today. Then when we conclude the Shanti mantra. Anybody? Anybody? Yes. Hari Om.
May I? Hariom?
Yes, please. Yes, Dr. Vidisha ji. Most welcome. Ji.
Shraddha, we saw that it is of three types, sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. Sattvic people generally give their offerings to God, rajasic to the demigods, wealthy demigods and brute beings, tamasic to the restless people, restless spirited
Spirits.
person.
Spirits.
They are restless spirits, yes. Then we saw about the demonic creatures, how they are. They generally go against the teachings of the scriptures. They are filled with the negativities such as ego, arrogance, ahankar, and all these are desires, restless desires. All these are bad combination, and they
Saraswati
torment.
Namaskar. Bharati.
Hello, am I audible? Am I audible? Yes. Okay.
Yes,
Thank
ji,
you.
yes.
Thank you. Then the foods are also of food, yajna, austerity, charity are governed by three gunas. First, we saw about the food. So sattvic people they prefer the food that nourishes body and prolongs life, and then they have very smooth and firm diet, and they adhere to that diet. Then rajasic people are the ones who are all eating fried junk food with all bitter,
One
tart,
interruption.
salty.
Dr. Vidishari, just one question
Yes,
as
please.
a doctor. Now, post-operative recovery and just post-operative period, sattvic food would be ideal, isn't it?
Yes, definitely,
But
yes.
but a lot of times I have noticed that food is not given so much importance, isn't it? The food that is
Uh,
eaten. Medicine is
Actually, in
given
the general, maybe before, but nowadays,
now.
the dietitian comes to every patient and she gives accordingly what diet you are. If you have comorbidities like hypertension and all, then there is salt restriction, as you correctly said. If you're diabetic, then sugar restriction, all that is followed.
Yeah.
So nowadays, and even in the corporate setup, it's very good, and in the government setup also, it's trying to improve. They're trying to improve. I feel
Ji,
with
ji.
that.
Yes, please.
Yes,
All right.
but definitely Satvik, Satvik food. And before also, when this concept was not very new, but our grandmothers and all grandfathers used to tell us to have Satvik food only after any surgery, or
Ji.
even if we have some diarrheal issues or something,
Yes,
we used to
yes.
have normal
Fever,
food, right?
fever treatment would be upasa,
Yes. Upas, yes, fasting. Now
fasting.
it
Which is
is
not, you're
said
not
as
touched, don't
intermittent
put
fasting.
inside anything, just drink hot water and watch. It will
Yes.
come down. Yes, please. Yes, ji.
Yes. So then we saw about the Rajasic food, which the Rajasic type of people are consider to eat bitter, sour, salty, hot, dry, dehydrated food, and they are full of anxiety and worry, and they are affected by ailments very frequently. And then third type is tamasic people. They generally take food, consume food with like cold, stale, rotten, tasteless and leftovers, decomposed, all that. So after that, we saw Yajna. So Sattvic people do not have any desire in mind, and they perform the yajna purely with krutagnyata and as without any expectations. Whereas next we saw is the Rajasic yajna. They Rajasic people are full of desires and they have some material benefits in mind to perform the yajna. Last is the tamasic people. They just offer sacrifices against the scriptures without following any proper procedure. They do not have faith, no mantra offering, anything is done by those people. Next we saw about the tapa, and tapa for sattvic people are of three subtypes. First is the sharir tapa, second is the speech, and third is mind. So for Sharir Tapa, it is said that Guru Seva should be done, and participation of the physical body is there, and they are non-violent monks, celibate people we saw. Then for the speech, we saw that speaking truth with kindness, tolerance, and we saw about the speech tapa, and the words that do not harm anyone or cause any disturbance to anyone. Then we saw about the mind tapa. The people are in the blissful state of mind. They are balanced in the good and bad moments of life also. They have a very good mind control. They have the inner cleansing of the mind, and that is all mind tapa. So they use the mental thoughts to rise a level of consciousness, which is something above mind also. So that we saw. Then we saw that all, if these three penances are done all together, then it is the ultimate penance of a sattvic person, which
Sattvic
is a
tapa.
Sattvic Tapa, yes. And after that is the Rajasic Tapa. So Rajasic people, uh, when they do Tapa, everyone comes to know they are full of pride, ego. They are unstable, and this Tapa is temporary. It's full of show off that we saw. Next we saw is the Tamasic Tapa. So Tamasic people perform Tapa to harm someone or self, and they are devoid of intellect, and they are clouded by arrogance. So this we saw, that is the
Yes.
last. And next we are going to see about three types of gunas. uh,
Dana. Yes.
Dana, sorry, Dana.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Vaishya. So we conclude with the Shanti mantra. Just one more thing about Sattvic Tapa is means the penance of speech does not mean you should shy away from speaking the truth when the moment of when the dharma comes in. No, always dharma must be upheld. But while doing that, don't think you are now deliverer of justice. I have to deliver it. No, God will deliver justice. You will do your duty. What has to happen after that, it is fine. do not have to add the harshness, but never hesitate. When the moment has come, you must rise. You cannot, if it is tamas, if you hesitate to, tamas is making you withdraw from doing your duty. That should always be done. But while doing it, do it in such a way that the words are in your control, not that you are not in control of your words or your sharira also. Sometimes people lose control of their bodies, they lose control of their minds. So sharira tapa, mana tapa, vak tapa, all three of them. It is with practice that it happens. Best is hold on to Krishna. He gives you the strength. He gives you the direction. So with this, we conclude with the Shanti Mantra. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Hari Om. Tatsat. Krishna Mandir. Jagat Guru. Punar Milama. If any queries, you are welcome. Hari Om. Yes. Yes, Joey. Hari Om.
Yeah, talked about three type of tapas:
जी
sharir, vak, and man. मुझे
Yes.
मन is not too clear to me. Can you please give some examples, maybe?
Yeah. We just look at the shloka on Manatapa. Manastapa, it is, one second, let me open that page. Yeah. Blissful mind keeping that balance. Mana prasada saumyatvam. Maunam atma vinigraha. Mauna is also a part. Silence. Maintaining the silence. Maunam. Mind is sometimes always in a flow, no? Continuously thoughts are coming, and it's not a flow also, it's more of like a zigzag oscillation happening on the inside. That also has to become shanta. And I think you must have heard people doing vipassana. Joyji, have you heard of that?
Yeah,
Have you done it? Anytime?
yeah, I
Yeah.
have done that.
Wow, wow. That is brilliant. That means you have already, what we can say, exercised a certain control over your mind already. You are having that. So manastapa is where your mind is calm, your mind is blissful, you are able to experience bliss by going. What is this bliss? This is the Ananda. Ananda is that which is beyond the Sukha and Dukkha. You are able to connect with that through the mind. That is Manastapa. Such a person understands the importance of cleansing the mind. He or she is performing the Manastapa. Vipassana also, they were ready to, I don't think they allowed you to worship any Aradhya or anything, no?
No, it was only meditation technically. That's
Yeah,
all I
you are.
understood.
Yeah, and you are told, don't think of any of your Ishta, don't think of any Aradhya. You do not want mental activities to take place according to Purva Sanskar. You want to immediately just push yourself to your limits. Most of the people are not able to complete the entire Vipassana. First few days they are able to do it, and then they run away after a particular, because mind has to become stable. So controlling the mind is the Manastapa. Means what happens? Emotions come into our play, no? That is why we lose control of the mind. And then our body also shakes because of the emotions, because we feel this is wrong, this is injustice, I cannot, this person is bad, this person is evil, this person is more powerful. All such thoughts come in along with anxiety. They come in with a flow, and then they make our sadhana bhanga. Instead of that, when we withdraw, there's something called Digbandha in the Tantra, they follow that. Yogis and all, when they sit, no, around that area, they draw a kind of a kavach. They establish with mantra, make that place active. Now no forces will enter. Something like that you have to do around yourself. It's okay. Even if Ravana himself is to stand in front of me with all his might and force, I am not going to be afraid, or I am not going to have any other negative thoughts or allow those thoughts to get impinged upon me.
Then can I say कि ये मतलब इसके बारे में it's similar to मुक्त संग or detachment from the karma bandhanas. So isn't it the same thing as we learned in the previous chapters? बस इसका एक नाम
हाँ
दे दिया है अभी.
हाँ, it could be said that way, Jodi ji. Yes.
Okay. I have one more question about the food. So we heard that the fermented food can be considered not sattvic, but many of the food which is fermented first and then cooked is supposed to be good for the body. And in India, we do eat a lot of like that. For example, idli, dosa.
In the Ayurveda, if you see, in the Ayurveda, no, idli dosa also becomes varjya for certain conditions.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Then
because
not exactly considered sattvic food then.
means, no,
But
no, no.
okay.
You know, the idli dosa is not. You know, that is why we did not use the name. No, otherwise, idli association people will attack me.
No,
Then the dosa association secretary will
मतलब
send me notice for defamation. I want to
I'm
say
just asking that which food is exactly sattvic
no,
then,
no,
because we
no.
also have that's
No,
also
what I'm
fermented.
no, hold on 1 minute. Idli dosa, I'm saying is now see each of these are traditionally developed. Idli also, can you make it with a batter which is fermented more than accepted? No, isn't it?
No.
Not
Well,
at all. And you see it is mostly in the southern states that idli is there. Where in the southern states where there is enough ushnata, where there is enough heat. So this will not cause trouble. But same thing, somebody says, I love the idli that I ate in Chennai. I am going to now continuously keep eating in Jammu and Kashmir also idli. What's going to happen there? Vatavaran will have effect. Kapha dosha will increase. Person will get those ailments.
mhm.
So generally, when Ayurvedic medicine treatments are being done, they cut off even this. Even people in the Ushna places, because they want now the body to work in a particular manner. The food is not bad. I am in South. I also have it many times, but I've been told not to by Vaidya. So sometimes I follow it. Sometimes I don't. But when it becomes too much, it becomes a problem, isn't it? So here, Krishna is, and this best part is Krishna is, if at all the associations of different foods, people, they cannot send a notice to Krishna because he has not told anything directly, isn't it? What is Satvik? You asked a question. A food that is prolonging your life. How do you know that? You eat the food, you understand. People eat different types of food according to their body types. They understand this suits me. This suits me. The food that is suitable here may not be suitable in another place, isn't it? People ask, how do you eat chapati in Pondicherry? In the north, they say, how can you eat rice, so much rice? Because there's a desha, there is a kala, there is a paristhiti. So different factors are there. But foods which are not heavy on your consciousness, they are sattvic. You eat that food, it's like it has nourished you. You are no more hungry, but you don't feel like you've eaten too much. Rajasic food is you will keep knowing you have eaten that food up till a particular moment. Sometimes people remember 1 day later also. Oh, me and my friends in friend's birthday, we ate so much that next day when we went to play cricket, it's like still I am feeling that food inside of me. My friend was saying that because that food has not, it is bearing on the consciousness, isn't it? That is why then there are people who say avoid onion, avoid garlic, avoid this, avoid that. That is their choice, no? It is their choice. Somebody will say in Ayurveda what? Ayurveda says natural steroids are present in garlic. Somebody who needs those steroids will take that way, no? It is up to the individual. Krishna is not drawing these firm, rigid boundaries. Actually, it's difficult to draw that. My drug inspector came and asked me this question while I was driving him to the site for inspection. Drug inspector is now Brahma, no? When he is there, now he is going to decide. And he started asking a question, what do you think about Rama? I said, I know this person belongs to another dharma. He is just doing all of this to pinch me and irritate me before the inspection only. I said, sir, he is worshipped by so many people. He's a great figure. We understand. No, but what do you think he ate in the jungle? What did he eat? So I said, sir, I don't think idli dosa was available there. So he must have eaten whatever food as a Kshatriya he might have. Do you mean he ate meat? I said, yes, sir. What do you have to say about it? All this is not in the manual or checklist of an inspector, isn't it? This is not to be asked. These are not connected. But this person was asking. So I just replied to sir, whatever you are telling, I understand, sir. I have so many vegetarian friends, sir, but their heads are absolutely bad, sir. And then there are so many non-vegetarian friends, sir, who are very, very good. I don't think diet makes such an important aspect as much as the person's behavior is. If it is translating into behavior, Sri Rama is not worshipped because of what food he ate, sir. He is worshipped for because of the karya which he did, which works he has done. And that the dialogue got over there. That person was not asking with a sincerity, that much I knew. But food, if you want to really understand, even doctors will tell you which kind of food is good. Your kidneys are bad, creatinine level has increased. They'll say you have to be vegetarian. No more non-veg food for you. Why? Because it's heavy on the body, isn't it? So that is up to the individual to choose. Sattvic food is that which is going to be easily digested, easily assimilated. Fruits, succulent, this type of fruits which are fresh, those are all coming under sattvic. Sattvic. Yes, Joyji?
Yeah, that answers my question, but I have some more questions after that to follow up. So, like, let's say
Today, okay. Yeah. Yes, please.
fruits and stuff, then the person will get hungry frequently as compared to a heavy food, which might be considered Rajasic food. I'm not sure though.
No. That is
The-
our assumption. No. We have the habit of eating 3 times a day. That is why we feel. But there are people who eat 1 meal a day also. I have met people who are very strong after eating 1 meal a day also. एक बार eating people who eat once a day are called yogis. Who eat twice, they are called bhogis. Who eat thrice are called rogis. Most of us fall into 3 meal category, isn't it? But
And what about the more than 4 times a day?
I don't know. We'll have to come up with a new classification. Maharogi, maybe. It's actually
Okay.
an invitation. It is an invitation for diseases when you are eating more than 3 times a day.
Okay.
Yes. Here's a nice
Yeah.
shloka. Sarpaha pibanti pavanam nacha durvalaste swashkai trinaihi vanagajaha balino bhavanti kandaihi phalaihi munivaraha japayanti kalam santosheva purushasya param nidhanam. Trupti, what is coming to you is enough. You eat once and you are feeling trupta, that is good. Look at the snake. What is a snake eating? It is eating hot air according to the Subhashit, meaning it consumes so little food. It is not weak. What about the Vanagaja, the elephant, wild elephant? What is he eating? I want proteins because I'm big and I want to develop my muscle. No, Vanagaja is eating what? Vegetarian only, no, plants only. What about the yogi who is spending time, hours in the forest doing japa continuously? Kanda and Phala, yet they are strong. Look at a photo of Parshurama. You see how powerful he is. So there were so many yogis who were equally strong. It is santosha eva purushasya param nidhanam. That santosha, if you can get, otherwise the craving keeps coming. The food craving will also be one of the cravings, no? Trapping a person. We need to experiment actually. Is it really required for me? 3 meals? How does my body? Because we have to identify what food is good. Today, some food is good for me, or sometimes a fruit which is good for me may not be good for another person also. So your body, you have to become conscious. You have to do this. Dietitian is not expected to understand inner prakriti. Dietitian is going to say from statistics, isn't it? These foods are good for these people. This according to the science recommending this. But you have to study yourself.
So, can I conclude that Sattvic food depends from one region to another, from one region to another, and as well as from one mosam to another? That will be the change.
Yeah, it can be. It can be. But what is sattvic for a human being will remain sattvic for everybody also. With everybody, it will be a standard thing.
Okay.
Yes, you. Hari Om. Namaskar. Hari Om.
Yeah, if it's not too late, I have just one question.
Okay, ji,
Yeah.
welcome, ji. Yes.
We spoke about people with tamasic nature worshipping spirits and I mean, I've seen in some temples they have people who go into trance and they get call for the spirit and then
That is
you-
their Shradha. That is their Shradha. It is not tamasic. Tamas is when you are using it in ignorance. That can be sattvic also.
Okay.
We are not aware of that. No, we are not aware of this practice. We are not aware of it is a culture, no, in so many villages.
Yeah.
Grama Devata is there. Like we have Kula Devat, like that there is a Grama Devat. It is said there is a Vastu Devat also, where you are residing. So those who are understanding that, they are connecting with that.
Okay.
So yeah. So that is not we call tamasic. It can be very sattvic also. Only it looks different to us, so we feel weird. No, like Westerners feel we worship Ma Kali. Why are you worshipping her? Look at her, she's scary and she's like this. But some the bhaktas can see how loving Ma Kali is also, and we are understanding death as a truth. We are able to see death as a truth in the eyes, and that when Ma Kali is there, she is also Bhadra Kali. She is the auspicious one. So that is definitely, because otherwise people many times misinterpret and then they form their cults. No, I am from this cult, so I am going to say bad about that cult, so my cult points increase. It is not like that. And as far as the spirits and other things are concerned, if we allow them to trouble us, they will trouble us. Those thoughts and everything. If we do enough tapasya, we will not be troubled. One person shared about the experience where somehow some people, everybody is different. Each person is unique, so different people get different experiences also. What experiences I have got need not be resonate exactly with what you get or the path you chose. But there is one more occult path also, which people follow. So this person got an experience where in a tree near his home, he would see upside down some bhoot with wearing a burqa. So he said, "What should I do?" I said, "See, you just are you why are you going and trying to engage in whatever you are seeing, whether it is a hallucination or whether it is real? First thing is you're experiencing it. First, next time if fear comes in, no, am I supposed to go and liberate? I said, you see, you said it's already from that that being is from another dharma. So you just, if at all you have an interaction at all, I said, I don't know, but you just say, ki, please, your book will give you enough strength to get liberated. I will continue with my sadhana because this person himself was having other mental troubles. Such a person should not get involved into all of this, isn't it? Somebody who is on a higher state of consciousness who is able to understand it may very well get involved if that is the role and that is the direction of that person. But otherwise, I don't think we need to. What connects with us? Gita talks about identifying Swadharma and then following it up with certain simple practical aspects. Whom you worship, that's your very private aspect. You cannot even say this devata is lower than the other devata. Many people try to make that mistake also. Again, they hurt Shraddha, no? Then Shraddha hurt people suddenly feel I have to now fight for my devata. Again, Rajas is triggered, another Rajas. And then the full fights going on everywhere. Your devata is like this, my devata is like this. Intergalactic devata wrestling competition takes place. And heads only, nowhere else. Yes, Chief? Has it?
Yeah.
Yes, all right. Hari. Namaskaram. Jai Shri Krishna.